Hey everybody, it's Tim with the Vintage Airstream podcast. I'm in the VAP van. I thought I'd give a little overview of the electrical system. I went and took the covers off and I just went through, I was tightening everything because it's been several hundred miles since I put it in. So it is underneath the bed. So let me flip this around. All right, so the electrical underneath one side of the bed support and the plumbing on the other. And let's just get down there and get a little close up. Okay. So I originally was going to go with a 24 volt system, and I bought 4 of these eco-worthy 280 amp hour 12 volt batteries, and I was going to configure them for 24 volts. But the more I looked into it about balancing batteries, I just thought, well, I'm just going to go with 12 volt. And the main difference is when you're running an inverter and heavy power, you can use smaller wire when you go with a 24 volt system. And then you have to have a converter to go down to 12 volt to power your 12 volt items like a water pump. A lot of fridges are dual 24 and 12 volt. But I decided to just stick with 12 volt and deal with the bigger cable. So I ended up going with 3 batteries. I sold one because I just figured it was going to be a lot to recharge 4 batteries. So right now I have 840 amp hours. Still probably pretty tough to recharge if I depleted them pretty good. But it gave me more room. It allowed me to put the AC breaker box down there. We can look at that in a minute. But basically, all the batteries are down here. They're secured in with this 80-20 and closing them, and also I have them strapped down. They have equal length wires, putting them in parallel. That's 4/0 wire, and I was intending on using Victron Multiplus 3000 watt inverter. That's why I went with the 4/0. So my wiring isn't pretty as a lot of people's, I'm sure, but from the batteries, the 4/0, nice. The 4/0 comes up and it goes to a Class C fuse, which is important for lithium, especially when you have a lot of current capacity. But each I can't really see it, but each battery has its own MTBF fuse. It's a terminal fuse, Blue C terminal fuse off of each battery. So if any one battery kind of messes up, at least has a fuse right on the terminal. Of course, these all have smart BMSs. If they overload, they should short out, they should shut down. If they get too cold, they should shut down, not take a charge, that kind of thing. They're not self-heated, but they won't take a charge beyond, like, I think it's 24 degrees or something like that in the specs. But anyway, so from the Class T fuse, I have it going to a, I think it's what's it say, 350 amp continuous 600 amp for 5 minutes switch. So that's basically, I can just turn it off if I need to service it. And that goes to this Lynx distributor. So in the Lynx distributor, power comes in, and then there's fuses for each of your branch circuits. So it's a pretty nice device. The ground wires, 4/0 coming up from the batteries, and it goes to this shunt, which is a blue, it's a Victron shunt, and that measures all your power that you're using and tells you the state of charge of your battery bank. So after the Lynx Distributor, I got it actually will distribute or split off as a terminal block the ground and the positive. So this first one goes to the inverter I'm using. I'll talk about that in a second. And then the other ones go to the SmartSolar. So I got a 400 watts of shade resistant energy panels, two 200-watt panels. So they go through that through a cutoff breaker. So if I'm servicing, I cut off that breaker. And so that's my probably my primary charging, like when the van's just sitting around. So 400 watts has been plenty. It's charging the system back up for when it uses overnight. Fridge has been plugged in for months. So, you know, every morning, I don't know, if I'm not using it, I might be down to 95%, and it'll go to 100, I don't know, maybe by 10 o'clock, something like that. So pretty quick. I'm getting about, I think I've noticed about 20 amps or so. And then the second way I charge is these two Orion XS 1250 amp chargers. So those are DC to DC battery chargers. So those come from the vehicle. There's a customer connection point, and these do 50 amps each, and they tie in through their own little fuses to the battery system through the Lynx Distributor. So those run up to the front, and so when I'm driving, each of those will do 50 amps into the battery bank. So that'll be 100 amps when I'm driving, plus whatever the solar is doing. I've seen 120 amps going into the batteries just from driving. So that usually charges it back up. If I was at, I think 77%, and then it went up about 20% in about an hour and a half, something like that. So if you really discharge them down to 20% or something, with lithium, it's fine. You can do 10, 20%. It would take a while of driving to charge them back. The other item I have coming off of this is the 12-volt air conditioner. So this is the fuse for that 12-volt air conditioner. I have a Vellet. I think it's a 10,000 BTU air conditioner. Another charge I have source is if I'm plugged in, I have this 20 amp lithium charger. I bought that when I bought these batteries just so I can charge them up and play with them. If I find that I need it, like if I went somewhere hot and I was had to run the air conditioner for multiple days, then I would probably have to plug in somewhere, and then I would probably need like a 50 or 60 amp lithium charger that could run the air and keep the batteries up. But so far, I already had this, so I just put it in. Here is the breaker box. So I have a spot for a oven, which I have not installed, the driver's side and passenger side breakers, and then a main 30 amp. And I have a transfer switch behind this. So outside the van, there's a power input. If I plug into that, it will transfer these breakers, so all the outlets in the van, to the shore power, and then it'll start charging the batteries. This has a separate connection to the transfer switch, so that when I'm on the inverter, this has no power. The charger doesn't have any power. There's a separate plug for it right there. So I went with this Go Power inverter because I don't know if you remember from the old VAP days, I had this from before. It's a 1500 watt high surge. So I thought, well, I'm just going to go ahead and try it and plug it in there. And so far it's been great. All I really need it for is like my induction cooktop, my TV, my Sonos speaker, and I don't feel like I'm lacking. So I may not even bother with another inverter. I may just stick with this one. So it's powered right here. And the other thing too, since it's smaller wires. If I had a 3000 watt multiplus, it would be very large, and I would have to run those big 4-aught wires to it, which would be kind of a pain. It's a pain to build those. So let's see. I'll go out and I'll show you that inlet. Let me go ahead and pause this. There we go. I'll add my face to it. Okay. So we have a 30 amp connector here. Just a standard 30 amp. Of course, haven't needed it really. Just testing it. I have a 30 amp to 110 adapter. So I plug this in, plug that into the van, and then I can plug that into my extension cord. And of course, you can't do 30 amps through that, but you don't really need to. If I needed to, I could plug into a 30 amp pedestal with a regular RV cord. So I have an outlet here, 12 volt. The idea is if I had like an e-bike or something like that, I need a charge, I could do it there. Just go around. Okay, I have a USB here. It's a 65 watt for charging laptops, phones, power distribution rated. I have an outlet here. The idea is eventually I'll put a table here that flops down and I could do my cooktop outside. I do induction cooking. So I have a 12 volt fridge. Like I said, that's been on forever. And I have a induction cooktop here. Works great. Uses about 100 amps. I have another outlet here for that, for when I'm cooking. And I have another outlet here I put in for, got my Sonos speaker mounted. And this is a, so they have a Victron display you can get. It's HDMI. It plugs into the brain box. Oh, I didn't talk about the brain box. That's a Cerbo GX. This right here. So all the blue boxes plug into that with cables, and then that does the drives this display. Plus it's remote. You can check it over the internet. So this display is not the Cerbo GX. This is an Android tablet that's modified using a modification from Victron. So Victron put out a way to flash these inexpensive Android tablets and turn them into displays. So that's what I did. So like this is like a $30 tablet. You download their software, like the actual Victron software. It's not really a hack. You just follow the steps and you can turn it into a display. The nice thing is it's over Wi-Fi, so the display can be anywhere. That cable is just for charging it. So it does all the stuff the regular one does. There's the charge. Let's see, I have 300 watts of solar coming in, and I'm using 9 amps, 10 amps of DC power right now. I don't have, my inverter won't show up on there because I don't have the Victron inverter. As you can see, here's the battery state of the charged battery. And yeah, it's only getting solar right now. I have all the lights on, but that doesn't draw very much. I got the inverter on, and I was had the Sonos speaker playing. So yeah, so that's primarily how to monitor it. And then here's the air conditioner, 12-volt air conditioner from Velvet. That looks really good. I have a fantastic vent. Of course, uses power. I have a Sorinco fan. I think it's kind of overrated. It's nice because it spins around, does all kinds of stuff, and it's used really low power, but I think it's too expensive for what it is. Of course, I have a TV and my Sonos speaker. So anyway, I guess I just wanted to do this because, like, if I was doing my Airstream again, I would probably go more this route. There's no propane in this van; it's all electric van, and I can run since the air conditioner is 12 volts, I can run the air conditioner while having the TV on, while cooking with electric. Like I said, when I'm doing the induction cooktop, I can have the air conditioner on and have the TV on. I think the induction cooktop was drawing 100 amps, 111 amps. I must have been drawing 111 was total. So, and so having the air conditioner on doesn't affect anything because it's not part of the inverter. When you have an inverter to run the air conditioner, you need a 3,000 watt inverter, and you need a soft start for your air conditioner if it's 110, and then you have to get to play power monitor. Make sure you don't turn on something else that's going to use up power while you are running your air conditioner, which we're all used to. We even have to do that in a 30 amp hookup site. So I don't know for a big Airstream how good this would work for a 12-volt air conditioner, 10,000 BTU. I know I run it all day on. There's like eco mode, a sleep mode, a regular cool mode, and a max mode. I think I ran it on eco mode or regular, and it ran all day, but it was using mostly solar. It'll draw about 40 amps, sometimes about 50 amps, depending on how hot it is. And then my solar would bring in, 10 or 20. So kind of offset that. And then, of course, you don't really need it at night unless you're in a place. And you can use night mode, like high humidity place or something. But anyway, yeah, I just wanted to go over the electrical, what I did, why I did it, because this has no propane. All just, driving, and the sun brings power back. I've been out in it. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. I think about a week at different times, about seven nights, and it's been fine. So anyway, let me know if you want to know more about other systems. I mentioned I would talk about the electrical, and so I'm going to go ahead and put the panel back on. And yes, I still have work to do. I have to build the walls and stuff like that, but maybe that'll be a winter project because I don't want to waste the summer and fall not using it. All right, thanks. See you down the road.